Live featuring uh featuring at NA Harness update. And with that, three, two, one, live, and here we go. Welcome everybody to another edition of Often Pacing Live, starting a little bit late because for some reason some people still believe in traffic laws. I am not one of these people necessarily, or maybe I am if you are my insurance company listening. However, I know that I am Ray Catolo, and I've always been Ray Catolo, at least for the last few weeks I have been. I'm not really sure who I was before that, but we don't need to go that deep into that. Instead, what we should be doing is getting in contact with our guests, because we have 15 minutes to post until our featured race of this broadcast, the Confederation Cup, $1 million, around 1 million coins, on the line over at Flamboro Downs. And to join me, if I can get his number up, and then I dial the number, and then it rings, ring-a-ding, ding-ding, ring-a-ding, ding-a-ling, ding, 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 ring, ring, ring-a-ding, ding. Oh, shh, there it is. It's calling. It's dialing. It's dialing. And it's going to keep dialing, and we should be getting in contact any moment.
Hello?
Hello there, Chad.
Hello, how are you?
I'm alright. You're on Often Pacing Live. Say hi to your family.
Hello, everybody. How are you? Hope everyone's having a good night. Confederation Cup night.
We love Chad. Have my kids, Chad. Oh, they love you, Chad. This
Yeah.
this crowd adores you. So, Chad, before I get into some of the questions, let's get to know you a bit. You, of course, work with Flamboro Downs. Full name, actually, if we can get your full name here. You are
Chad?
Chad Gates?
Yep.
Okay, Chad Gates, and your position at Flamboro Downs is what exactly?
I am the Assistant General Manager for Ontario Racing Operations. That's both for Flamboro Downs and Georgian Downs.
Okay, so if you are the assistant general manager, who's the lieutenant general manager and the colonel general manager?
That is John Stolte.
Okay, we don't know him, but we assume he does a good job.
He does an excellent job. With my assistants, of course.
And that I don't know a lot about business administration because I just got back from college actually, so that's why I was a little tardy. I'm not a business major. I'm a communications major, if you could not tell by my stuttering. And what exactly do you do as not only an assistant general manager, but an assistant general manager for a racetrack?
Well, we manage the daily company operations, to ensure a positive, safe, and profitable working environment, while at the same time ensuring the integrity of our racing product.
And that of course is by trying to implement regulations and testing where it has to be done, I assume.
Yeah, by following the regulations as set by our governing bodies, making sure the integrity of the pools of those customers wagering into our pools are actually licensed wagering outlets throughout the world, basically.
And not just people with really long and digital trench coats.
Exactly.
I can't tell you how many times I've walked by an alley and this guy opens his trench coat and he says, "Want to win, place, or show?"
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you because that's never happened. But what I do want to ask is, since you, of course, uphold the integrity of Flamboro Downs, it's going all right, I assume. I assume you guys are just pretty integrous. That's not the conjugation of it. There's a lot of integrity.
It is, yes.
Yes. Not of course. You also with Flamboro Downs. Flamboro Downs is of the tiered tracks in Ontario. It's a B track as we define it. Not a C track though. So I guess that's a good thing. Not to say anything bad for the C tracks. C tracks are fun. B tracks are just better. That's why they both start with B. But Flamboro Downs, I understand, was hit somewhat hard when the slots left a couple of years ago. How has the track been how has the track been recovering from that since?
Well, every track in Ontario had a negative impact from the removal of the slot agreement at the time back in 2012. Currently, we have a Ontario Standardbred Alliance structure that we've seen a lot of positive from.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, there's still work to do as a group to ensure the longevity of the Ontario standardbred racing.
Mm-hmm. And so then, with that in mind, has Flamboro progressed in a way that you feel has been on track? Do you guys feel like you're behind getting back on track?
No, actually, year to year, we've seen some positive growth over the last couple of years. Our biggest struggle right now is the horse population,
Mm-hmm.
getting owners back into the game. We seem to be making strides on that here at Flamboro, especially. Our field sizes are going up, and our wagering handle is doing the same.
Now this is going to be kind of an interesting question because it's just two words. Describe Flamboro. What is Flamboro?
Flamboro is exciting
Okay.
and entertaining.
Now, when the question was two words, you could answer with more than two words. Also, it's open ended.
Yeah, I know, but I tend to follow the rules, right?
It's at least symmetrical, so I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Parallel structure is important, much more important than perpendicular structure.
This is very true.
Very, very true. I only spew true on this broadcast. None of those alternative facts. Now we were mentioning. I was talking to you about Flamboro coming back from recovering from the slots. What do you feel then is Flamboro's role within the entire Ontario racing scene?
Well, Flamboro plays a significant role in Ontario harness racing. We have a top-rate facility with a exceptional racing surface with the horsemen. They really enjoy to race on it. So we're known as the fastest half-mile racetrack.
Mm-hmm.
And our conditioner for the racing surface keeps it in top shape, which we hear constantly from the drivers, the owners, even the exercise drivers that are conditioning the horses. So we're very proud of our racing surface, and also proud of the role we play now in the Ontario Standardbred Alliance, being the signature racetrack, which you refer to as a B track, which a lot of people do.
Mm-hmm.
So in Ontario, we have the premier signature and grassroots racetracks.
Oh, okay.
And we are classified as signature, which is basically a feeder to premier racetracks, and for those horses that can no longer compete at that upper level of premier, that near the end of their career, they come back to signature.
Well, we also see that too a lot with horses at Woodbine. They'll go to Flamboro to kind of train and then come back to race at Woodbine.
Exactly.
But then,
Yes.
but then they can't race at Woodbine, so they go back to Flamboro. So it just keeps feeding the process.
They do, yes. Some of them are successful, and again, it could simply be because of the surface size.
Mm-hmm.
Some horses prefer to run, 7/8 at Mohawk or the mile at Woodbine, or to run the half mile here at Flamborough.
Or not run at all. Some horses just don't like to run.
Exactly. Yeah. Sometimes you wake up in the morning, you don't want to do something.
That's true. That's most mornings. Let's talk a bit often pacing before I let you go. So, as I understand from what I'm looking at on my screen right now, Flamborough Downs, it's partnered up with often pacing. You guys are in the game.
Absolutely, we do on-track advertising here, try to push our customers towards it.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a great concept. It's unique the way it promote and grow the sports, and the potential for the game is actually, it's limitless.
Mm-hmm.
Exposing future race fans to the sport, and the thrill of the sport from the ownership's perspective, which really gets the people involved, and they can see the sport from a whole different angle.
I've definitely noticed that in terms of racing my horses in my stable, because you don't really feel like owning a horse could be anything profitable. But if you just classify them right, you get at least a decent horse. You could at least produce a churn, and that's one thing that I know I've learned from playing the game. And it's important that racetracks like Flamborough Downs give the game a chance to and help try and promote it, because it's in the sport's own interest.
It is, and you know what? It even educates those racing fans that have been around the sport for many years. It gets them to learn the conditions of racing, where a horse is spotted, if you spotted correctly, or if they're running the horse over his head, where they don't really have a chance to, to cross wire first or to get a check in that race.
Now, how about for you, Chad? Do you dabble in the off and pacing at all?
Personally, I don't really find the time to do that.
Well, that's true.
However, because I'm the assistant general manager, so the general manager basically gives me the work to do while he sits here and plays off and pace.
Is that the Flamboro Downs in the game? Is that Flamboro Downs?
Flamboro Downs, yes.
So you heard it here first. The general manager of Flamboro Downs is Flamboro Downs in the game.
Yeah, I believe that is his tag. Yes, it is Flamboro Downs. He has quite a big stable, from what he tells me.
Well, that also gives you something to work for in terms of the business hierarchy.
Yeah, that's right. Maybe I should join up.
I'm nothing stopping you. You can download it right now after I hang up on you. Not to say that after I hang up.
So you're gonna hang up on me
now. It's available in the App Store and on Google Play. Any kind of device you got, you can play it.
Well, maybe I will do that once we get off this wonderful call.
Oh, well, let's make that sooner. No. There was no way that could not sound harsh. Well, Chad, I know I'm not really much of the off-and pacing team. I'm just kind of the personality here, but I do want to say thank you for helping to promote the game, because it means a lot when racetracks get on board and try to boost up these startups and ultimately help not only the industry but also small businesses.
Absolutely. I appreciate the time, Ray, and as I said, I think it's a wonderful concept that is going to show our sport in a different light to a lot of people, and hopefully turn some of those people into racing fans that will come to our actual Confederation Cup on May 20th and come take in the races at Flamboro Downs.
Especially you Americans that would need passports to do that. Now's the time to get those booked, because they take a while to process. They take a while.
They do.
I believe mine got lost in airmail. How ironic is that? Well, Chad, it's been a pleasure. Thank you for joining us here on Off and Pacing Live.
Thank you very much, Ray. You have a good evening.
You too. Go download the game now. I'll know if you did.
All right. I will do that.
Chad Gates, everybody, thank you for joining us here on Off and Pacing Live. We are a minute from post time now for the Confederation Cup. This is the Confederation Cup field that we have lining up here tonight. We have from the inside Josh Ho Chantzzy for the Prancing Horse Stable, Seaside Heavens Bell for the Depreta Racing, YG Frank for the YG Yannick Gingras, Gurley's Dream for Blue Swamp, Trey Merson for PQ Stables, PLR Meme for PLR 123, SMF Beer Reserve for Sidmat Farms, and DeWolf Den for A1 since day one. 40 seconds to post here as I get the field loaded up here on my smart device, which has access to Off and Pacing, as many of your devices do. If you're watching this broadcast on Periscope right now, chances are you have the ability to play the game. And if you've not been playing the game, fix that. I suggest fix that. Find the time, find the place, find the date. The date is now to download Off and Pacing onto your device. As I open up this field, we're 10 seconds to post. This is the $1 million Confederation Cup. As Chad Gates said, a real race at Flamboro Downs. Used to be a 3-year-old stakes event. Now it's for 4-year-olds, no longer in a heat fashion. That's on May 26th, I believe, 2018. Head on over for that, but this is the Confederation Cup from Off and Pacing, because this field is in motion and approaching the start. Confederation Cup field is at the start and they're off. Seaside Heaven's Bell fires for the lead to the inside, grabs the front. YG Frank parked out to that first turn. Josh Ho Chant Z races third to the inside of PLR Meme, dropping back wide of Girlie's Dream in fourth. Fifth then gets away, or rather sixth, Tramerson. Seventh comes SMF Beer Reserve. DeWolf Den trails onto the back stretch, leading the way Seaside Heaven's Bell by a length. Outside, YG Frank's parking for Beltrami, inching closer towards the front as they go on to that opening quarter in 27-1. On cover, moving into third, PLR Meme moving around that turn first time. Josh Ho Chant Z in fourth. Inside fifth, Girlie's Dream. Sixth comes Tramerson, still back to SMF Beer Reserve and DeWolf Den. YG Frank clears as they move towards the stretch first time. YG Frank leads by a length from Seaside Heaven's Bell, occupying the pocket second, still left out Overland. PLR Meme from third, wide of Josh O. Chant Z pacing fourth, locked in slightly. Girlie's Dream fifth. Sixth is Tramerson, half quick. 54-3, 27-2. That second quarter set by YG Frank, circling that clubhouse turn for the final time. He's a length in front of Seaside Heaven's Bell, pacing second. Inside third, Josh O. Chant Z. Girlie's Dream takes fourth as PLR Meme drops back to the outside of Tramerson, moving into fifth. SMF Beer Reserve still second to last, and DeWolf Den rides his helmet as they go down the back stretch to the three-quarter pole, chasing YG Frank. Unchallenged so far, leads by a length from Seaside Heaven's Bell in 1:22 and 2:27-4 around that final turn. YG Frank out of the pocket, Seaside Heaven's Bell a half length off the lead, now dropping back as YG Frank gains separation into the stretch. Josh O. Chant Z third, deeper on the track. Girlie's Dream. Tramerson splits horses late as they turn for home. YG Frank is faltering as Seaside Heaven's Bell takes the lead. Deeper on the track, Tramerson trying to inch by, and from the back, DeWolf Den flying. Seaside Heaven's Bell holds the lead. Seaside Heaven's Bell holds on to take the Confederation Cup from Tramerson, and a rally from DeWolf Den to take third in 1:49-1. And with that, it was Seaside Heaven's Bell, earner of over 4.2 million, mark of 46-2, 26 wins to her 74 race record, winning here for Depreda Racing. And with that, folks, that has been another edition of Often Pacing Live. Thank you for joining us, even though I was a little late. Again, people should not drive the speed limit, or they should change the speed limit to be higher, especially when I'm late. When I'm not late, I could care less, but I was late tonight, and thank you for forgiving me for that. Thanks again to Chad Gates of Flamboro Downs for joining us this evening. Download the app! Download the app! Download the app! And Google Play and on the Apple App Store. Other than that, I don't have anything else to say except till next time. Those will be my last words.